I saw some kind of stat somewhere, she was golly, it was like something like in a certain age group, 40% of the people admitted that they actually looked at their phone during sex. Is that you?
This is your life. This is your life. Right now is your life. Life is about right now. Live and live are spelled the same way. In order to live, you must be live. Right now. The past does not equal the future unless you give the past permission. You are the sum total of your dominant thoughts and decisions. Yes, you are. So, a little birdie told me that you have an out of control sexual behavior of some sort. Pornography, masturbation, fantasization, or some kind of unhealthy sexual behavior. A little birdie also told me that it's starting to get the best of you. And it's not okay anymore. That's good news. It not being okay. Because that's the beginning of how you can change it. We're going to have an adult, grown folk conversation about behaviors, attitudes, decisions, choices, actions to become healthy. Becoming healthy is a journey. It's not a one and done. It's not like this sexual addiction BS that you do where you just get all excited, you do this, and then you blast one. Now, it requires a lot more work than that. It's strategic. It's taking steps. It's reflection. It's looking inside. It's being introspective. It's deciding that you want a better life for yourself. That's what this is about. My name's Joseph F. Price. They call me Joey P. I'm going to be your host in this journey. I'm going to be your partner in this dance. We're going to do this together. We're going to become better people together. You are going to have sexual mastery. You are going to have mastery in your life. Yes, you are. You're going to be a better person. You're going to be somebody that you can be proud of. You're going to be somebody that even your mama can be proud. But it's not going to come free. You're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to do some reflection. I'm going to give you some tools. I'm not going to do it all on my own. I'll bring some guests. They'll give you the good stuff. But here's what you got to do. Take this as a journey that you get better each and every day. A journey that we don't stop until we figured out how to do it and we become invincible. Yeah. We can become invincible to our pornography, sexual behaviors, and unhealthy other addictions. You just got to understand how it works. You got to understand how your mind is making you its bitch.
No self-bitching, y'all.
Like
no self-bitching at all. No
you're
self-bitching.
the
This
bitch
is a self-bitch.
of your mind. And so
No self-bitch.
this work that we're going to do, it's about neutralizing that and you becoming the victor. You becoming the master. You becoming the man that you're supposed to be. That's what I'm talking about. So if that's something that interests you, if that's something that you want to do, then let's do that together. It ain't a one and done. It's a journey. So let's begin.
Joseph F. Price, back to you. For part 2, we actually put part 2 on a different platform than we did part 1. So That's pretty interesting. We won't mention any names, but I thought that was kind of fun. So somebody's going to say, where did it go? And somebody else is going to say, what did he say before? And it's very simple. You know where to find that podcast at. Where you find it at is the same place that you hit like, and it's the same place that you hit subscribe. And so I got a new podcast coming out in a couple weeks called the Joey P Experience. We'll be talking about it a little bit more. That's going to be a mainstream podcast where we're just going to be talking about everyday events. I think you know that I've been a life coach for a number of years. So we're going to really just be engaged in the conversation about making you better. And then over here, we're going to keep everything specialty. So name of that podcast is the Joey P Experience. So what we were talking about is a disorder that coincides with pornography addiction in today's day and age. You don't usually find one without the other. And I would invite you to listen to part A in its entirety, because it's really a setup. And there were some things of value. The rest of this particular session, we're actually going to go into the, I guess, wasted time and wasted ways that people allow their cell phone to dominate them in the context of porn addiction. Talk about some things that you can do to manage how you behave with your phone. And I'm going to share a tool with you. I'll share tools with you in each and every podcast. Some of these tools are specifically related to what it is that we're talking about, which is recovery. But some of those are related to you becoming a better person. Because, see, the thing is, you don't get recovery without you becoming a better person. And part of you becoming a better person makes recovery possible. So there's this term that's called keystone habit. You can look it up in Google. And a keystone habit is another way you could call it. You could call it a genesis habit. You could call it an impetus habit. You could call it a catalyst habit. But the behavioral term is keystone habit. And so a keystone habit, one that is very easy for you to understand, is a person having they do exercise. Oh, it's a brand new year, I'm going to do exercise. And they really do exercise. So they really follow through and they really do exercise and they embrace exercising. Well, what you always find usually right behind that is that person starts eating better. And then you find they dispense with bad habits. And then you find they go to bed better. And basically, if you look back, like, maybe 3 years down the road in some of these people, they've had it like an absolute transformation. And sometimes because people's behavior is so unconscious, they don't know what they did. And all of a sudden, their friends who haven't seen them in like 5 years say, hey, man, and all that. And they don't know it in some cases. In some cases, they do. They know all of the other stuff, but they don't know where it started. So keystone habit. Exercise is usually a keystone habit. So I'm kind of putting that bug in your ear. If you're not exercising, maybe start exercising. And that can actually be a keystone habit that your pornography use drops off on. Or that perhaps no pornography use and living a healthy life can be a keystone habit to your entire better life. So the term is keystone habit. So let's, for the sake of the example, have your entire world to because the keystone habit is almost like a processional effect. It's almost like it knocks all the other cards over by default. Like exercise, like I explained, it really happens. People exercise and then they don't desire a bunch of junk food, and then they want to sleep better, and then they want to eat better, and then they don't want a whole bunch of dumb stuff, and then they want to exercise even more, and so on and so forth. And then they want to start talking better to themselves and taking better psychological care. And then all of a sudden, back at the ranch, you come back 2 years later and the person's transformed. That's the clearest example I can give you of a keystone habit. And so I'm encouraging you to use your transformation out of pornography as a keystone. I'm encouraging you to use exercise as a keystone. And I'm also encouraging you to use your lack of your phone disorder as a keystone habit. Because most people have raunchy keystone habit. Most people have raunchy behavior habits. So I'm going to pull up my screen here and kind of share with you what it is that I'm talking about so that we can actually get together and be on the same page. So what do we have here? Joey. We have, okay, let me do this. Give me a second, guys. This technologically, come on now. All right, we're going to do this here. We do this here. Let's see. Here. All right, and there we got that. All right, so here we go. It's coming up in a moment. All right, so here's the screen. So this is actually some kind of 2022 cell phone statistics. We're going into phone usage. Again, I'm not here to waste your time, but see, here's the problem. You don't know me and I don't know you, and I didn't say anything, but you don't know me. And again, I don't know you that well, but here, this is unfair that I know that within 2 minutes of you waking up most days, you have a compulsion to put the phone in your hand. I know that much about you. See, and the reason being is because it's linked with your other problems. So if we can like work together, then perhaps we can work together. So here's what they're saying. And you ask up to 47% of the population say that they're addicted to their cell phones. That's what the population says. This is some weird statistics, and let me backtrack. I think one of the worst things that happened was unlimited minutes, because then people, when I started out, some of y'all kids don't even know nothing about this, but you know, we used to have like phone plans where you only got to talk like 200 minutes. And I don't know, my math isn't that, I told you I got up early. My math isn't that good, but no, it's like, you know, that's 10 minutes a day, right? And then after that, it's like a very substantial amount of money. So we didn't talk wastefully on the phone, and we didn't talk unpurposefully on the phone. We were clear about what it was that we wanted to say. So then you have unlimited phone, so then people pick up the phone and they don't think about what it is they're going to talk about, and then they have thought sessions in your phone call when you got stuff to do. I think you understand what I'm saying. So here's some numbers that are weird. 70%, 4% of Americans feel that they're uneasy if they leave their phone at home. 71% say they check their phone the first 10 minutes of waking up, but I believe most of you. 2 minutes, 53% say that they've never gone more than 24 hours without their phone. Again, 47% consider themselves addicted. 35% of you look at your phone while driving. And this is really like, this ain't right what y'all doing. Because somebody out there is looking at porn and driving, and that's not right. I don't need to like belabor that point. If you're doing that, that's not fair to all the other drivers out there, what you're doing. So I'm encouraging you not to do it. 64% said they use their phone on the toilet, and then they want to shake your hands afterwards, 61% said that they had texted somebody in the same room. 48% said they feel a sense of panic when their battery goes below 20%. 45% say their phone is their most valuable possession. That's goofy. 43% say they look at it while they're on a date. 70% of Americans report that they look at notifications. 45% within 70% check their phone within 5 minutes of getting a notification. So they said on average, Americans check their phone 344 times per day, which breaks down to every 4 minutes. They call the cell phone a constant companion. And I think that's pretty much the article that I have here. Oh, yeah. Over a third of the Americans say they'd give up their pets to keep their cell phone. 53% say a house fire or disaster, their cell phone would be the number one possession that they try to save. 26% say that they've endangered themselves to avoid damaging or losing their cell phone. Okay. They say Americans spend 2 hours and 54 minutes on their phone every day. All right. They say that adds up to 44 days in a year. So that's 44 days of a whole year that you spend on your phone. So in 2023, you basically can start right now where I am at 10 o'clock, or it's actually 3 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time until tomorrow sometime, like 10 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. That's how long people are on their phone in a month. So that's that about the phone use. All right. Some statistics that they're interesting and kind of scary. And at the end of the day, I say don't let that be you. Don't let that be you, that you're that guy or that gal who has that phone disorder. Because of the simple fact, it's a blatant waste of your time. And you deserve to do better. What you do with your time is how your life turns out. Time is your most valuable resource, and all this time that we've blown with the pornography is ridiculous. And then you add the cell phone usage on top of it, and the fact that then you bounce Tinder into it, and then you're bouncing on this, and you're bouncing on that, and you're bouncing on this. And once again, that plays into that role of 256 addictions, and the phone being one of the biggest ones. So hopefully I gave you some things to open your eyes about the fact that the phone can be detrimental. Maybe you might want to develop some mastery over your phone, because you have to. If you don't develop mastery over your phone, you're never going to develop mastery over your pornography addiction or your sex addiction, because it's a little bit more complicated than even your phone. So you got to be able to develop mastery over your phone. I mean, and that's why I say work up to the first hour, work up to an hour a day that you're not going to be on the phone the first hour a day. Reason being, once again, if you can't have any mastery with your phone, how do you think you can have any mastery with your other members? It's just not really possible, and it's not making any sense. And I'll tell you straight up, and what I've told guys time and time again who want to buck at, I have to use my phone for the first hour. And I just basically say, if you can't control yourself and your phone, tell me, how is it that you're going to learn how to control your penis and your eyes from watching porn if you can't keep your hand off your phone? not possible. You just can't do it. That's why it's so vitally important for you to take your phone back. Let's talk about how you're going to take your phone back starting today, right now. First thing I tell a client, first thing out the gate is change the notifications, change the ringtones. First of all, change the ringtones, because you've been listening to these ringtones for as long as you've had the phone, more than likely. So you've conditioned yourself to respond. And so you're beginning to start to act like a dog to that phone. And so one of the ways that you can take that back today is by changing the ringtone. The second thing you can do today is every single notification that pops up on your phone today, go into the actual app and turn the notification off. One of the reasons why people are so stressed today, because that's the biggest common thing that people say, is because they're getting text all over the place unnecessarily, phone called all over the place unnecessarily, they're getting emails all over the place unnecessarily, and they're just responding to this stuff like they're crazy. So turn all that stuff off. If you don't have a reason that you need email notification, every single email that comes in, turn it off. And maybe during the day when you're working, you need to be in touch with your email all day. You know, you can make a change. You don't have to be a slave to that phone constantly. Change the notifications. Because the thing is that's occupying your time, and it's amping up your stress, and it's burning up your energy. And that's the very energy that you need to win this battle. See, it's not a matter of do you have the resources to be successful in this journey. It's not about the resources. It's about your ability to be resourceful. And not only that, it's about your ability and the foresight that you have to manage those opportunities that you do have, the resources that you do have. And quite frankly, it's about eliminating the 956 ways that you self-bitch yourself. That's how you eliminate this addiction. Eliminate the 956 ways you self-bitch yourself. Come up with 544 great habits and get rid of the 256 ugly habits you got. And the only way that you can do that, it's called the process of recovery. And actually all that other stuff of hoping and wishing and, oh, I might relapse today. Oh, I relapsed. Oh, all that foolishness like that you're doing out there, and you're not really working a recovery journey and taking a cold shower and making a sandwich and waiting for something to happen. And you know, recovery is a 3-phase process. You got to learn how to manage yourself better. You got to heal yourself, and then you got to align yourself with the purpose. Number 3, you got to align yourself with the purpose. Number 2, you got to heal your heart. You got to fix your heart. And number 1, you got to learn how to manage yourself through strategy. And unless you do those 3 things, you're never going to stop porn. And then in addition to that, unfortunately, you're so silly that you think that you got a porn addiction. And I boldly tell you that you're so silly that you think you got a porn addiction. You ain't got no porn addiction. You were watching porn and watching porn. Oh, it's good. It was good. It was good. And you got that hard little penis. And then you got all jolly. And you started wiggling yourself up into a foam. Pimo. Your body got used to that. Your body got addicted to the Pimo, my friend. And you're still foolish enough to think that you're addicted to porn and you're addicted to Pimo and you're addicted to the entourage of cocktails that comes from jerking off after you watch porn to the extent that you masturbate. And so if you think it's just, working on porn and you didn't deal with the healing, and you're not aligning yourself with being fantastic, being the man that your mama would be proud of, you're just fooling yourself. You might be lucky enough to actually get a year of not engaging. But the thing is, until you get rid of the pornified mind, you're not healthy. And what we're talking about, what I'm talking about, is getting rid of the pornified mind so that you're not even worried about getting sober. See, the foolish, the real dumbasseries, they're chasing after a day. The more successful, more intelligent, they're chasing after a month to sobriety. As they get a little bit better, they're chasing after maintaining sobriety. And I'm only laughing because I think that all of these goals, although they are noble goals, they're short-sighted goals. And because they're short-sighted goals, they inherently bring unnecessary suffering because somebody doesn't even understand what they're chasing after. And number two, they haven't positioned themselves to really get in a journey. If you got in a journey of being a healthy man, you're not worrying about how many days you got or how many months you got. You're not even worrying about sobriety. You are concerned and committed to being healthy. And all that other stuff comes with it. See, that's one of the things that's missing again in people's strategies. They're chasing after not engaging today. Why don't you chase after not engaging any day? And we can get excited about that. But no, I'm not talking about not chasing after it any day. I'm talking about not even wanting to ever think about chasing it any day. And that only comes through, reversal of how you got there. It's a reversal of what would cause you to just a second ago to think what I just described was impossible. The only reason why you don't think being sober is possible, being a person that's healthy, that doesn't even want something. The only reason why you think that's impossible is because you conditioned yourself to think that's impossible. As soon as you get some of that porn out of your life, you'll see how possible it is. And then you'll do the things to make it possible. And then it'll be a possibility that you'll begin to experience moment to moment. But again, the only way that you can even begin to start doing that is by taking control of your phone. So, I mean, if you don't get nothing out of this, do the 1 hour rule. Take control of your phone. A lot of people report to me, they don't have the ring on the phone. Don't let that phone control you. People have man, that phone's a tool. It's a magnificent tool. Not a toy. And if you change the way that you behave with that phone, you don't need to take that phone in the bathroom all the time. If you're married, you don't need to be hiding your phone. I sit there all the time. It's so funny. I'll hand my wife the phone when she's talking to somebody, like somebody I know. And I'll go to the other end of the house, man, and go and mind my own business, and turn on a football game and then end up taking a nap. I'm not thinking about that phone, but the thing is you wouldn't be doing that. I'm not saying you specifically, but if you're married and you're a porn addict, I guarantee you that when you hand your phone to your wife, your heartbeat starts going up. And that's because you haven't taken control of your phone. See, if and that's a clue. Like if you think Joe Price doesn't know what he's talking about, here's a clue for you. Take your phone and put it in your wife's hand. And then take a ride to your favorite convenience store and get your favorite beverage and see how you feel. That'll let you know exactly where you are. That'll do better than anything I could ever tell you. That'll also let you know, how addicted you are to your phone. Leave it at home. See how you feel. You want to teach yourself how you really want to understand what it's like. You got kind of like get a toast of like if you're drowning in porn like every day, and all the best that you can do is listen to the message that we're talking, and that's okay, because it's got to start somewhere. If that's the best that you can do, and doggone well that you're going to keep doing what you're doing, then why don't you try it? Leaving your phone at home and seeing how you feel. Get used to that uncomfortableness. One of the things I was talking to a group last week, and it was funny that it came up just kind of on the fly. And I think the guy said something to the extent of how uncomfortable something was and made it like a big deal. And I just simply looked at him and said, everything that you said it's a fact. But here's what you need to do. I get that you're uncomfortable with that. It's clear about that. But you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because I've talked about it before, the window of tolerance for a porn addict is small. The window of tolerance for a non-porn addict is this. So first of all, our tolerance level is smaller. Then you're activated easier. So you got a double whammy. So you got to double train yourself. So one of the ways that you can do that is by getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And the easiest way to get comfortable being uncomfortable is by just doing uncomfortable things. I take cold showers. Some people take cold showers as some resistance strategy to porn. Maybe use that once or twice in a pinch. I'm not going to disadvocate that, but as an only strategy, I think that's a little foolish. But it's a good discipline, but that in and of itself is not really the answer. I actually jumped in a pool a couple of days ago. It was a little warm outside, but the pool was kind of cold. And that is actually addictive, like cold shower. Something I hate, cold water like that. I hate it. I hate cold. I'm, kind of thin. I hate cold. But that rush of circulation and that feeling after you do it, like you get used to it. Addiction in and of itself is not bad. Like most of the time, it's always used in a bad context. And, the medical people say an addiction is something you do when what you're doing is negatively hurting you. But I think there's some good addictions, like, getting up at a certain time in the morning, reading the Bible every day, reading, period. So the word addiction, I don't think in and of itself is the worst thing in the world. In its common sense, it is. but in the sense of being compelled to do things that contribute to your outcome. Because, you know, you got to remember, you're the sum total. Everything at every moment is the sum total. You're the sum total right now of your dominant thoughts, just like we say in the intro. You're the sum total right now of your story. Your story is the sum total of the people that have come in your life and the memory days that they've created for you. And that's the sum total of what you are. And also your interpretation of that, the meaning that you've given these events that have happened, and the total of those. You can shift the load by shifting the meaning. Pretty interesting how that works. But yeah, take control over your phone, because part of a pornography addiction of today is that you definitely have a disorder with your phone. Your phone's out of control. Don't touch it for an hour. Leave it out of the bathroom. Get comfortable with your wife having it in her hand. Don't have something that your wife ain't cool with on your phone or in your life. If you got any old phones, you porn addicts, get rid of them. Throw them in the trash. Throw those in the trash along with your big cache of data that's full of pornography, along with, you know, even those old school discs and those old school tapes. Just throw it away. Let it go. Get rid of it. Throw it away. You don't need your phone for an alarm clock, by the way. That's something that people use. That's a loophole that people try to use to get into their phone. Get yourself a doggone alarm clock. What they used to use. I think I covered it. I don't think I did as good as a job as I wanted to, or ever do as good as job as I wanted to, but I'm going to tell you something. Whether I do a good job or not, what's really going to matter every single time, every single day, is what kind of job are you doing? Are you growing every day? Are you becoming a better person every day? Are you learning from your mistakes every day? Are you loving yourself? Are you learning to be your best friend? Or are you just allowing yourself to be your worst enemy? Let me also say, I appreciate many of the listeners and the love that they've shown of late. Just straight up love. Comments that are helpful, and not comments of, hey, I want to be right about something and let you know something, but actually comments to contribute to this product being a better product for the sake of serving somebody else. I've gotten some serious comments. I've gotten some comments. I've gotten some logistical and tactical advice, suggestion, insight, tips, keys, hidden secrets from listeners. Help, like real help. And so I appreciate it. You know who you are. And I encourage you and anybody else. I mean, you know, if you can help us become better, that's what we want to do. Get better every day. You know, my job in life is to be better tomorrow than I was yesterday. What I did yesterday doesn't matter that much, because yesterday's done. The only thing I can do about yesterday is fix up the mess or be grateful. Live and live are spelled exactly the same. Might be a clue. In order to live, you must be live. So with that, folks, peace and love. Drive with care. Walk with caution. Hit like. Hit subscribe. Send the message to somebody that you know needs it. We'll keep delivering the goods. We'll keep delivering the food. Until next time, God bless you. You are more than enough, and you do matter. Why? Because God don't make junk. That's one reason. Second reason is because I said so.